Okay, so I've been cooking down this chicken bone stock all day. As the amount has reduced, I just keep adding more and more and more. So it's probably gone down to at least a quarter of what the original volume was. I'm doing this to make soup bars to go into like an MRE style thing. So as I've cooked it down, that way there's less water to pull out, but more concentrated flavor. And this is agar-agar powder. It's a vegan gelatin substitute. It's made from a type of seaweed, and I've just mixed it with some of the liquid here. Kind of the way you do with cornstarch before you add it to like a soup or gravy to dissolve it and be able to add it without it just clumping. So the reason I'm doing this is I've done broths before, and as they freeze dry it into such a powder that they don't stay together. So I'm hoping that by adding this agar-agar powder that the bars will stay together a little bit better. So I'm just going to continue to add in this agar-agar powder, stir it down a little bit more, and once it's cooled down a bit, I will transfer it onto the pans and add my other ingredients like chicken and vegetables, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm back. I've filled my tray, laid out my trays here. I've got shredded chicken, and then a bunch of vegetables, and also I put over some quinoa. So we've got some good hearty soup going to be made here. Now, I'm going to take my soup stock, which is concentrated quite a bit, with that agar-agar. It's starting to thicken up. And drip it over the bars. Try to make sure everything on top is getting covered with the soup so that it will hopefully all stick together. So now that they're all filled, this is where the lids from Brian Life at 40, Retired at 40, come in really handy. I can clip these on, and because they're still liquidy, it makes it easier to stack and move without spilling. All right, now these are ready for the freezer. See you when it's time to put them in the freeze dryer. All right, so my previous load in the freeze dryer is done. It's been de-iced, cleaned out, and pre-frozen. My trays of soup are here, pre-frozen, frozen solid, and we're gonna put them in. Although I realized earlier, I went grocery shopping yesterday while these were freezing and my other load was on, and I totally forgot to put noodles in my chicken soup. Oh well. So what I'm gonna do is after these are done, my next load will be some cooked noodles. That way when I package them up, I can put these in the little bags, and then once the noodle batch is done, add some noodles. That way it's all together. So drain valve is closed, and we'll see how these do. Like I said, I'm hoping that the gelatin or the agar-agar that was in the chicken broth keeps them and holds them a little steadier. That way we can pop them out nice, and that it doesn't affect once you add some boiling water to it to make it into a nice soup again. So can't wait to see. Hey, so we're back. Freeze dryer just finished, and I've already taken the dividers out, and we have soup bars. So one of these should be a nice good portion of soup. As I mentioned, I forgot to put the noodles because he wants chicken noodle soup without noodles. I'll add them into the bag separately. So each tray has 2, 4, 6, and a bit. So for the bit, for right now, to see how this worked, I've got a mason mug here with some steaming hot water. I don't know if you can see the steam flowing up, and we're going to put some of this in. Just like that. My dog found a ball and is throwing the ball around. Look at that. Lots of chicken and vegetables, a nice hearty soup. Oh, that smells so good. It's hot. Don't want to get any of the water onto that, so we'll put that aside for a moment. Smells so good. Those nice big chunks. So that chunk was a mushroom. Nice and juicy. Let's see. Some chicken and some red pepper. That didn't take long at all. And that is so good. Like I said, it was some vegetable juice that I added to the broth from the last video. So that's like cauliflower, carrot, and broccoli juice. Got added to the broth. I had a bunch of chicken and chicken bones and a few other bones that I cooked into, again, a broth. Then I simmered it down to 1/3 of the volume. And then after that, that's when I added that vegetable juice. And then we put that in to the pan that had the chicken and the vegetables on it, and mix some agar-agar into the broth. That way, you know, they're nice, some nice substantial blocks. Still very easy to break, but they hold together for transferring off the pan, which is always helpful. So yeah, and then even with that agar-agar in there, like, this broth is totally liquid. It's not jelly-like. You can't tell that there's gelatin in there. The agar-agar. So yeah. I'm going to continue to have some of that. And I'll get these packed up. And that is definitely going on my list of do again, is some soup bars. So, because why not? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Later.